Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we see the biggest mistake of a pilot, which caused the death of all innocent people. Dear friends, before anything else, let me tell you that I have just launched my channel and I really need your support. Like the video and comment your opinions so that I know what topics to create more content for you dear ones. By supporting me, you save my family from the worst financial situation. God will return this support of your loved ones. Like, comment, subscribe in your life. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all of you dear ones. Let's go to today's video. In the early 1970s, Boeing introduced an airplane to the world that revolutionized the air transportation industry. We all know it as Boeing 747. It was one of the biggest passenger planes at that time and had a unique look. This shape especially caused this plane to gain world fame quickly, and even people who didn't care much about the plane recognized this plane and realized that this plane is Boeing 747. After this fame, all the airline companies looking for him to buy from these planes, so that Boeing could not answer all customers. At first, only big companies managed to buy these planes. The first company was Pan American. After that, Clinio, Lufthansa, and other companies managed to buy this plane. We want to go to Japan Airlines, which bought this 747 aircraft. And in the 70s, it was the most important airline in Japan, and it is still the most important. At that time, Japan was developing rapidly and needed short flights a lot. For this reason, they ordered that 747 airplanes should be purchased, and they should not have front class or business class at all, and ordinary economy seats should be arranged all over the plane so that they have much more passenger capacity. Another order that the Japanese had given to Boeing was to make the gas tanks of their 747s smaller so that their weight would be lower and they would have more cargo space. Because they said that they wanted these planes only for inside Japan, and the road short does not need a big tank. With these orders given by the Japanese, they managed to put the largest number of passengers on these planes. There were more than 550 seats on these planes, which was a very crazy number in the 70s. For example, Iran Air's 747 planes, which were normal planes, had a capacity of 366 people, which means that Japan had about 200 more. This work of the Japanese was small and cramped, like many other things in Japan, like their hotels, like their car parks. Time passes, and the 747 airplanes advance in the world. We come to the year 1985, when one of Japan Airlines 747 planes, when it wants to take off, the bottom of the plane hits the ground, and this is the pilot's mistake, who underestimated the weight of the plane, and the nose of the plane earlier pulls up. When this happens, it causes damage to the bottom of the plane, and when it lands on the ground again, that piece of the bottom of the plane must be completely replaced. But the Japanese needed the plane very much, and they don't allow this 747 to go in the hangar, and that part of the bottom is changed. The same piece that is slightly damaged, they open the rivet and put a new piece in its place and send the plane back to work. That is exactly what the Japanese technicians did, was to ignore such a great danger. This 747 takes passengers and flies again, unaware of the fact that in every landing and takeoff that this plane has had, the rivets of that replacement part loosen little by little, and a main piece of the plane's body, the plane's bottom, slowly gets weaker and weaker, and no one notices that the plane's bottom has a problem. August 12, 1985, at 5:12 p.m. at Tokyo Airport. The same plane that had a problem is carrying 520 passengers to go to Osaka. This flight was a 1-hour flight. picking up passengers is finished and loading is finished at 5 o'clock. That is, 1 hour later, the plane is ready to take off on the runway, and the plane takes off and goes to Osaka. The pilot of the plane was Captain Masami Takahama, co-pilot Hitaka Sasaki, and flight engineer Hiroshi Fukudai. When the plane takes off from the runway, it soars for 12 minutes and rises to 24,000 feet. Because the flight was short, there was no need to go higher. But you should know that the bottom of the plane had a problem, and it was like an infected wound that they only put a band-aid on. That's why the bottom of the plane breaks 12 minutes after takeoff. When this happens, the captain first thinks that the landing gear, or the wheels, have exploded. Captain Takahama calls the control tower and says that there is a problem and they need to sit down urgently. The control tower tells the captain to go east and land at the nearest airport, which is Oshima. The conversations of these are recorded. The captain says okay to the watchtower and turns to the east, but it seems that the steering wheel of the plane did not work. The bottom of the plane, which was torn, caused the hydraulic system of the plane to be completely destroyed and all parts of the plane to fail. In this case, the nose of the plane usually starts to descend, which is very dangerous and causes it to suddenly free fall. That's why Captain Takahama increases the speed so that the plane does not go down. In the cockpit, there is a deplorable situation where the plane turns neither to the left nor to the right. Only his head was going up and down, which was also with the help of the pilot's throttle. They were very disappointed, and panic filled their entire being, but they were still trying to land the plane in any way. Attempt flight group. They used to sit together, and on the other side, the bottom of the plane, which was destroyed, becomes worse and a hole is created, which completely destroys the pressure in the cabin. Just like when the plane window breaks, then the oxygen inside the plane is lost. Not only everything wants to be thrown out of that window, but you can't even breathe at that moment. This state of lack of oxygen also happens inside the cockpit, and even though the pilot and co-pilot were suffocating, they did not cut off their contact with the control tower and were constantly looking for a way to land the plane. The biggest problem in the way of this plane was that Japan is a mountainous country and they couldn't find a flat area to land on. The sound stops. Japan Airlines Flight 123 hit a mountain near Tokyo at 6:56 p.m. on August 12, 1985. The total number of passengers and personnel of this plane was 524 people. All of them, except 4 people, are killed. This accident was known as the deadliest aviation accident in history. Of course, the accident happened to a plane. We have heard for a long time that the Japanese are orderly people and everything is orderly. But since the development of the virtual network, we see that they are not so orderly. Their vandalism is a heavy violation, like the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Of course, this problem has occurred again in the world. For example, in the year 2033, one of the pilots of China Airlines crashed the bottom of the 747 plane with the same model, and like the Japanese, they did not take the bottom of the plane seriously until the same plane flew from Hong Kong. It rises, and when it reaches the bottom of the sea, it breaks. But the Chinese pilot can't keep the plane up like the Japanese pilots. They free fall into the sea, and 225 passengers and crew members are killed instantly. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for liking the video and sending it to your friends.